It started 15 months ago. I can see that the end is really in sight now. And I'm thinking about all the extraordinary people that I've met, people and places that have touched my heart. And Columbus is one of those places. I'm always called back to the fact that Columbus is a place where people know how to work together to get things done.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You all are about civic partnerships. You all are about public-private partnerships. And you can see the progress as a result of that. And we need more of that in Washington.
Yes.
And so as I think about this journey, I think about, first of all, the values that I started this race with, right? 26 years of trying to make a difference in people's lives, rolling up my sleeves, working alongside of volunteers, and seeing what happens when people say, we're going to tutor children, we're going to deliver meals, we're going to build houses. And now we get to do that we need to bring that same spirit of collaboration, of pragmatism, of working together to get things done in Washington that matter. I've been doing a lot of service projects over the course of the campaign. I was doing service projects yesterday. And I've been talking about service projects because I think what they demonstrate is people every day are solving important problems in our communities.
Oh, yes.
And they do it by working together. The other thing I've been calling out is that, when people come out to service projects, they know they're making a difference. They can see the tangible difference they're making. Elections also make a difference for people's lives. And let's just talk about some of the issues that are at stake in this election. Raising minimum wage.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I talked to a young woman last night. She said, I'm making just barely minimum wage. And she said, it would make a huge difference in my life to have the capacity to be more self-sufficient.
All right.
With my family, she has a young, she's about 7 months pregnant, excited about that. And she said, my husband and I would benefit profoundly from the capacity to just, have that little bit of change in terms of our income. So whether it's making sure that we are creating jobs, livable wage jobs, or whether it's making sure that we are protecting our Social Security and Medicare by tackling our long-term debt, making sure that we're working across party lines to do that, or whether it's making sure that we're making the right investments in our kids. I've been telling people, I just yesterday was reading, and I got to read to a little girl named Nadia, who's in 4th grade, and Nadia told me, first of all, she has her life planned a lot better than I do right now. She said, I'm going to, I said, well, tell me about what you're going to do when you get older. And she said, well, first, I'm going to be a heart surgeon.
All right.
Then I'm going to become the President of the United States.
Yes, oh yes.
She said, and when I retire, I'm going to be a teacher. So we need to make sure that we're making the right investments in Nadia and in all of our Georgia kids. And that means starting with, I think, universal pre-K, an affordable pathway to college and technical school and community college, making sure the families have the capacity to afford that. And, I think our message throughout this campaign has been, let's just bring some of those Georgia values of collaboration and moderation to getting things done. Let's compare that to what we've heard from David Perdue, my opponent in this race. David started out the race within minutes saying that he was all about prosecuting the president and that he was about prosecuting the other side. And every time I talk to people about that, people say, we need more problem solvers, less prosecutors.
That's right.
Yeah. And you look at, David couldn't think of a single Democratic idea that he was for, that he would work together. I've said I have lots of ideas that I think Republicans can put forward, and I'd be for them if they're best for our Georgia citizens. I also, think about the fact that David Perdue, there have been very few things that have actually gotten done from a bipartisan perspective. Whether it's immigration reform, there was, John McCain, Marco Rubio, they joined together with Chuck Schumer, they put forward a bipartisan bill. David Perdue's against that. And then you compare that to also the Farm Bill. Saxby Chambliss, Johnny Isakson, both for the Farm Bill. And Saxby said it was the most important piece of legislation for the most people in Georgia, and yet David is against that. But I sat right around this table not too long ago with a group of folks that were affected by the government shutdown. David Perdue has doubled down on using the government shutdown as a political tactic. you all know right here in Columbus, you know what that has meant when you actually have civilian employees, 77,000 furloughed employees for 3 weeks.
Yes.
So we don't need to go back to that, and we certainly don't need to go backwards in terms of our investments in education. David has said he's for eradicating the Department of Education.
Oh,